your briefcase in front of you, your papers, you spread things all around you, and you try to send a message, find someplace else to sit. Well, I got on this train, and I saw this man, he had camped out, but he looked like he needed Jesus to me. You were really discouraged, you know. There were other seats available, and I said, excuse me, is anybody sitting next to me? And he smiled and said, no. And he pulled up his papers in his briefcase, and there was a man by the name of Chuck Colson, a Watergate fan, who went to prison for the Watergate scandal, and came out and started what has become the largest prison ministry in the world. Amen. We became dear friends, and he began to take me with him, traveling across the country, singing in America's prisons. And I was shocked. We as Adventists are often very sheltered. We're blessed. We have our little cocoon worlds, you know. We sing Days Dying in the West. But we don't know what's going on in the West. And I began to sing in these prisons, and I was amazed. I did not know that one of every 3 young black men between the ages of 18 and 30 are in prison tonight in the United States of America, or supervised by the court system of the United States of America. One of every 3 men, black men, between the ages of 18 and 30. It has decimated the black family. Amen. Let me give you a statistic that will absolutely shock you. 16% of white women in America will never marry and have children. It is 55% of black women. There is no race on earth where almost 60% of their women will never marry. It is decimated the family. And then Chuck asked me to become a member of his board of directors. And while on the board, a very alarming statistic surfaced. We found that over 60% of the children in America who end up in prison come from the children of those who are in prison now. And so I began to advocate for those children. God just put it in my heart and in my spirit to advocate for the millions of children in America who, through no fault of their own, their parents are incarcerated. You know, the Bible says a true and undefiled religion is ministry to the fatherless and to the widows. And I began to see that these millions of children whose fathers are in prison are America's modern-day fatherless. And the women raising these children alone are modern-day widows. And so, as I began to advocate for the prison fellowship, said, you know, we believe God is putting a special calling on your life to build ministry to these children. And we started about 10 years ago building the U.S. Dream Academy. And our mission is very simple. We study, first of all, what helps to break that cycle in kids' lives. The first thing is you have to increase the density of caring, loving adults in the life orbit of those children. Because there's no substitute for caring adults. People who love the Lord who whisper to children, boy, you're going to be somebody someday. There's no substitute for that whisper. And then we found that a good education, the same thing you want to give your children and your grandchildren, helps to keep these children out of prison. give you another statistic that will shock you. By the age of 30, 60% of all black boys in America who don't graduate from high school will be in prison by the age of 30. 60%. 6 of every 10 black boys in America who don't graduate from high school will be in prison by the age of 30. And so, we stepped out on faith. And believe me, hallelujah, it was a faith mission. But God has brought people like yourselves, people who have given up their blessings of their wealth, of their estates, so that we can build ministry, the first ministry of its kind, started by Adventist pastor, to children of prisoners and children falling behind in school. We tutor thousands of children whose parents are incarcerated. So, for example, we now have 2 centers, after-school learning centers in Washington, D.C. One in Baltimore, one in Philadelphia, one in New Jersey, one in Houston, one in Memphis, one in Salt Lake City, one in Los Angeles, one in Indianapolis, one in Orlando. And that's what we do in the name of Christ. We tutor and mentor children of prisoners. And I tell you, somebody took the time to teach the boy Jesus how to read, you know. He wasn't reading in a manger, you know. And somebody took the time to teach him how to count. We don't even think about Jesus writing numbers and counting and adding and subtracting, but he did. How do you think he worked in his father's carpenter shop and got the measurements right? Jesus had to learn math. Amen? And then I tell people, what if that someone were you? What if beside your name and glory there's a plaque that says, taught Jesus how to read? Oh, they wouldn't be able to shut you up in glory. You can take everybody down that street, see that plaque. But Jesus said, as you've done it unto the least of these, you've done it unto me. And this is my first opportunity to come to the College-Dale community to share with you this ministry that has received many honors. President Bush, President Clinton, both of them have supported this ministry. And we're just going to show you a 3-minute little clip of what happens at one of our centers. And then we're going to ask for your support of this very unusual, unique ministry. God told me to tell you, you know, if you think about it, most of the resources we raise, we spend it on ourselves as a people. Here we're doing it for others. Listen. Ladies and gentlemen, please.